All right, we are live. I was trying to do this in a one take video, but I ran out of room and the first video was so long. So hi, my name is Daniela. This is my year in review video. If you've been following me for a minute, you know that I do these things called Motivation Mondays. Last week, I said that I've been reflecting on 2019 and really I've been reflecting on the decade, but specifically 2019, and that I wanted to talk about it, but it was gonna be real long. So grab a snack. I'm gonna talk a little bit about kind of what 2019 meant to me and all the things that I went through. And I'm doing this video because if you've been here for a minute, you know that I started Motivation Mondays because I was struggling with my mental health, specifically anxiety and depression. And I'll get more into that actually later. But I remember in that time, what really helped me get through those moments was going online on YouTube and seeing other people talk about their experiences and what they were going through and being able to relate to someone and feel like I'm not alone. And so when I started Motivation Mondays, it was just a vulnerable moment that I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk about it, right? And I got a lot of really positive responses, got a lot of people who felt the same way, who said that I made a difference in their day, in their life. And thinking about this year, I really want to start paying it forward more often. And I'm starting it here on Instagram. It might move over to YouTube later, but for now, this is where it's going to be on my IGTV. It's also a little bit of a time capsule to remind myself how I was feeling and that I can fucking get through anything. And that if I can make it through all the things that I made it through in the last 5 years, like, I got this. I really do. So also, another note, if I'm looking down a lot, it's because I have an outline for myself, because I tend to go off on tangents and I want to make sure I stay focused. The first video, I definitely went off on some tangents. So thankfully now I will get it the fuck together and not go off on so many tangents. So if I'm looking down, that's why. Like I said, grab a snack. We're going to go ahead and get started. So 2019. I like to refer to 2019 as the year of me. This is the year of me. And I'm going to go into why and all that stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about a lot of things from mental health to self-care, to who I am and the things that have made me happy, to the changes in my life this year. If you've been following me, you know that there have been some pretty big changes in my life this year. So I'm going to address those very lightly, not too intensely. So if you're coming here for some spilled tea, you're not really going to get that. But I am going to say things here that I haven't said at all. So here we go. So let's start with my New Year's resolutions for 2019, last year. You know, in 2018 I made them. This is the first year that I actually kept all of my New Year's resolutions. I actually did them all. Yeah, I did all of them. And that's not to say that if you didn't, that you failed it this year. This year was no walk in the park, by the way. But if you didn't do them, it's not that you failed, you know? I think that it's great that we try and we set these resolutions, right? I just happened to have a different year. I happened to have a different mindset, and I had to do everything that led up to this year. But let's talk about my resolutions. So I had 4 big ones for myself. That's what we're going to talk about. Resolution number 1, I wanted to lose weight. Yeah. Did I do that? Yes. I lost 25 fucking pounds this year. And counting, because I plan on losing more. I love myself. I love my body, but for personal reasons, I want to keep losing weight. That's just something I want to do. But yeah, I lost 25 fucking pounds. What the fuck? I can't believe it. I'm whoa, dude. It's been really hard to lose the weight. So I hadn't lost it at all in the last few years. So to finally lose it has been really great. Yeah, so that was my first resolution. Check. Second one, I wanted to start competing again. I am a professional dancer and I haven't competed in a while, and I wanted to start doing that again. And did I do it? Yes, I did. Shout out to Grant. What's up, pareja? We did 2 pro-am competitions in June and in October. Shout out to Kathy Reyes for hosting her pro-am competition, her annual pro-am competition in July. Hopefully I'll be doing that again this year. I'm sorry, in June. And then also to Salsa Mania. John Narvaez and Liz Rojas for doing the West Coast Salsa Bachata Championships in October. Also did that. I did both of those and I placed second place. Really proud of myself. It was a very vulnerable experience. It was very difficult. That's definitely why I lost the 25 pounds. I was like dancing like ain't nobody's business. My life was dance, eat, sleep, repeat in no specific order. Yeah. So yeah, I did that. I'm really proud of myself for that one. It was really hard. It was really great because it forced me to be disciplined in more aspects in my life than just dance, and to really just focus and focus. And so I'm really grateful for that experience. I'm really, really fucking grateful for Grant. Like, he knows this. I've said it to him many times. You guys have seen me on Instagram. If you haven't, go back and look. I just like how much gratitude I am for meeting Grant this year. He has been a very important person in my life, and I don't plan on letting this this guy go. He's amazing. I love Grant. Thank you, Grant. The next resolution I had was to work on a solo piece. So all my dance friends are like, I didn't see no solo piece. What you talking about, bitch? Yes, I'm working on a solo piece right now. I already picked the music. I already have it cut. I already started the choreo. It is not finished. You will see it in 2020, 100%. But I am currently working on a solo piece. It is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just haven't made the time for. And I am my own biggest critic, so I'm really hard on myself. And I'm like, no, you can't do it. Like, what are you trying to stop? But I really want to challenge myself, and I really want to explore different parts of me. And so that's something I'm working on. That one took a lot later in the year to actually start, but I was like, I'm not ending 2019 without starting this shit. So I started it like a month ago, and I'm really excited about that. The last part of my New Year's resolution was to put myself first. So now this is a tough one. I definitely 100% did that because, as you can see by my smile, I'm happy, and I haven't been happy in a really long time up until this year. And I need to talk about kind of what happened to make this this is the most important New Year's resolution for me. And I need to talk about why. And some of you have seen a little bit of why on like the posts that I've made or talking to me in person. And some of you don't. So I guess I'll get into that. Putting myself first. What does that mean? Why did I want to be happy? I mentioned earlier that I've been struggling with my mental health. So I'm going to give a little bit of a trigger warning. If you are triggered by, I'm going to be talking about my struggles with anxiety, depression, suicidal moments, as well as sexual harassment. So if I'm not going to go too far in depth with any of those things, but I am going to be talking a little bit about how I felt about those things, how they made me feel. And so if you're triggered by that, then I would either forward through or I would stop watching this video. Otherwise, like I said, it's going to be really light. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So about a year and a half ago, I started doing Motivation Mondays, right? And I talked about my struggle with depression. And then I think sometime this year, it's a little bit of a blur, I started talking about my struggle with that. It was actually, I was suicidal. So I unfortunately I am a survivor of multiple accounts of sexual assault, sexual harassment, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Since I was a child. And I'm not going to get too far in deep about what that was, who it was, or anything like that. I actually have an entire video of that recorded that I have not released. Maybe one day I will, but I'm not ready. And also for legal reasons, I just need to protect myself. But unfortunately, I have dealt with multiple accounts of this. And for a very long time, it was a secret that I kept to myself and shared sometimes with boyfriends when I was a teenager. But for a very long time, I kept this to myself. And it was a very big secret that up until 2018, I thought I was going to take to my grave. Unfortunately, and I can talk about this because my statute of limitations is over. But in 2015, I got raped. Whoa. 2015, I got raped. And it was very public to the people who were there, kind of. And so I couldn't keep it a secret. People were looking for me. And, whoa, shit, this took a turn. And so I remember I went to the ER. I had a rape kit done. All that is an awful experience. It was an awful experience. I don't wish that on anyone, but even just going to the hospital for that was awful. It was horrible. And so that happened. And, my family tried to get me some help. I went to a center, and I was going, but people have a really hard time with it. It's no one's fault. Honestly, it's really difficult to deal with someone who's going through really difficult things, but it opened Pandora's box for me. When that happened, I all of the memories of everything that happened to me when I was younger just flooded in. And the worst part is nobody knew because that was still a secret. I didn't tell anybody about that. Well, not many people. And so I was in a real dark place. I was having a real hard time, but everyone was like, you need to get over it. You need to move on. There was very few people in my life that was like, hey, it's okay that you're not feeling okay. Because not a lot of people knew. And it's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault, but it's a very intense healing process, and it doesn't just go away. So if you know someone who's dealing with something like that, the best advice I could give you is be patient with them. Something happened to them that is going to impact their life forever. Okay? They are always going to remember. And if they don't, then that's a very secret blessing in disguise. And not in disguise, but just a very little thing that's kind of great. But it still happened, and it's very awful. And so I kind of just bottled it up. And I was like, everybody expects me to move on. I got to move on. You know what? I did it for 21 years, 20 years. I don't know how many years at that time of my life it had been. I can bottle it back up. It's good. We're good. Right? So I proceeded through. This happened at the end of 2015. Then 2016, ain't nobody's business. I was bottling it up. I was like, it's good. We're good. Unfortunately, at the end of 2016, my grandmother got sick, my abuelita Hilda. And in 2017, she passed away. And I'm actually currently sitting in the room that she passed away. That's not intentional. I live in this room now. And I can feel her here. And that was very difficult for me because my grandmother was someone who, she moved to this country to help raise me and my brothers. And when I was very young, so, she was this powerhouse of a woman, man. She was running and climbing on things damn near to the very end. She's the most powerful and strong, fierce woman I ever met. And I can only aspire to be just as much of a woman as she was. She's I love her. And so that was very difficult when she passed away. Thank God she didn't suffer very much. And I know she watches over me. I feel her presence very often. And she's helped me get through all of this, but she passed away. And so that was kind of hard. And so in 2017 that happened, and I started gaining weight. I think in 2016 to 2017, I put on about 40 pounds. Yeah. Even into 2018, I put on 40 pounds. And I grew up being very small, really, really fucking small. So it was huge. It was a big deal. It was hard. And that same year, I realized that I didn't know who I was. And I was like, I think I might be bisexual. And I was in a long-term committed relationship. Most of you know that. We'll get into that in a respectful way. But I was in a long-term committed relationship. So this was with a man, by the way. So I was like, oh, shit. What do I do? What does this mean? So I discovered that in that same year. In that same year, a few months later, a very close uncle of mine passed away. For my family that's here, you guys, we love Pascualito. He was everyone's favorite uncle. Not that we don't love any of our other uncles. He just like, he didn't have his own kids. So he like spoiled the fuck out of all of us. He would send us memes and he would Photoshop our face into different things, and it was great. And he made every single one of us feel special and loved all the time. And him and my grandmother, it was very difficult for me to lose them that year, because growing up first generation Latina, the fact that I wanted to be a professional dancer was not okay with my family. And they were like my number one fans. Like, they went to my shows, they went to my competition. They were there for me. My uncle used to let me take naps at his place when I was juggling 3 jobs and trying to dance too. So it was really difficult for me to lose those people in my life. And I watched Pascual pass away on a very significant day. It was my 1-year wedding anniversary. For those of you who haven't followed me very long, hi, I was married. Not anymore. We'll get into that a little bit, very little bit. But he passed away on my 1-year wedding anniversary, and that was really fucking hard. And I saw him die, and it was like, you know, my aunt said it was a blessing, and I can understand that, but it was just like, God, it was really hard to see someone like that. And I kind of just fell apart after that. Everything I had bottled up from 2015 just came bursting out. I couldn't keep it together anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I was so depressed and so anxious. And I started feeling like I couldn't keep it together. Like, I couldn't function. I didn't want to do shit. I didn't want to be here anymore. I was so sad. I felt like a burden on everyone. And I felt like if I was just dead, everything would be so much better. And everyone would be so much happier. And I know now that that's not true. And I want to be alive now. I love being alive. But at the time, I wanted to die. I straight up was like, this is the best choice. And so I had a lot of suicide attempts. And it was very difficult. And I started seeing a therapist. I got help, you know. And I got through that, and it was really hard at the time. So in 2018, as I started building a lot of stuff with my therapist, it was I just, like, I'm not going to name her because it's privacy and all that stuff, but you know, I'm so grateful because it got me through. It saved me. Going to therapy saved me. And it's brought life back to me. It's brought this joy back to me. And it's been a tool that has helped me find tools to fight for myself. And I never went on antidepressants because it's just my personal view. I just, that's me. If you do it and that's for you, that's great. Do what you got to do. But for me, it just didn't feel right. And so she helped me find tools and build tools and work at it and heal myself. And it was a very difficult process. And going into 2018, I decided that I thought I was going to take this shit to the grave. I need to tell my family. I need to come out of the closet. I need to do a lot of things for myself. So 2018, I sat my family down and I told them about all the things that happened to me as a child. And we cried so much. And I was so scared to tell them. Because when that shit happens to you as a child, you just think, it's my fault. It's my fault. And then because you're a child and you don't really know what's happening, when you're older and realize, whoa, that was not okay. You're like, now it's really my fault because I didn't speak up. Why didn't I say anything? What? Like, someone took advantage of you and you really start to blame yourself and you're like, no one's gonna believe me. I'm sorry. No one's gonna believe me. And so it was really liberating when I talked to my family and they believed me. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. And it's not my fault. Only person that's to blame are those disgusting people that did those things, that took advantage of me. So that happened in 2018. I'm sorry. It was an intense year. Yeah. I came out to my family. You know, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was hard to be happy because it was very difficult to talk about all of these things and to just be open. And I realized that if I kept these secrets, it was going to kill me and I couldn't do it anymore. And I'm the only person I know that has spoken up about these things. I said this before in a video that I know almost every single woman I know has been through every single woman I know has been through some form of sexual harassment, from minimal to big, yeah? And very unfortunately, many of those women have been through some intense shit that I've been through. Maybe not as many times, maybe not all the way, but I am the only person I know that spoke up. So I had nobody to turn to talk to advise me. I had people that went through it, but they're like, I don't know what to tell you about coming forward. Like, I could never. And I'm like, I thought so too, but like, I don't want to die, dude. I don't want to die. I don't want to feel like this. I need to free myself. And so 2018, I did that. And I came out to my family, most of my family. And I was like, ready to kick 2018 to the curb. I was like, 2019, I'm ready. I'm going to be happy. I've been sad for a really long time and I've been hella sad for a minute. And like, I just need to be happy. Like, I need to catch a break. Like, this is my year. This is the year of me. I'm going to put myself first because I always put everyone else first. And I'm going to put myself first in front of everything and everyone, no matter what, because I need to put myself first because so many years I didn't. And look where it got me. Look where it got me. So it's okay to feel selfish sometimes. It's not a bad thing to put yourself first. It's wonderful to care about people because I still do. I still care and I still want to help and whatever I can do for you. If you want to talk, like, I'm going to listen, right? And honestly, if you want to talk, I'm happy to listen. Like, no judgment. I am no one to judge anyone. None of us should be. Nobody's perfect. So if you need someone to talk to, you can talk to me. You can talk to me. But I was like, I need to put myself first, no matter what that means. And I did. And I'm really happy. And I want to talk about what I fucking did to put myself first and to be this happy and to get through that shit. So I'm going to start referencing this, motherfuckers, so that I can get back on track. We talked about my struggles with mental health and depression. I lost 25 pounds, right? I needed to love myself. I genuinely thought while I was depressed, that I was ugly. I grew up knowing that I wasn't as a kid. Like, I was aware that I was pretty, right? So when I gained all this weight and I stopped taking care of myself, I was like, wow, you're undesirable. You're really ugly. Like, I really felt that. I felt so rejected all the time. And I was like, wow. I was like, no, why do you feel this way? Is it because of the way your body looks? Is it because it's different? Like, why? And I decided that, like, what the media dictates is beautiful and what everyone else perceives as beautiful doesn't define my beauty. I need to define my beauty. And I need to love my body in all of its stages. Whether it's itty bitty, big, in between, whatever, I need to start loving myself. And that's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do, right? And, you know, I still have my days. Like, before I hopped on here, I don't know if you can tell, I don't have any makeup on. I was like, I don't got time for this shit. My hair is greasy. I pulled it up. Like, I was like, are we really gonna do this like this? And then I was like, you know what? No, this is a vulnerable video. Let's be fully vulnerable. So yeah, no makeup. But that was one thing. I do love myself. I do love my body in all of its stages. Stretch marks, lonja, whatever, double chin, in all of her stages. And I have to give her love. I have to give my body love. to feel loved, right? And so I hope that you feel loved, and I hope that you know that other people don't define your beauty, and that you define your beauty, and that you're fucking beautiful. No matter how you look, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. Yes. So that's how I felt. The next thing is that while I was depressed, I got really socially anxious, and I got really closed off and like antisocial, and that's not who I am. For those of you who are on here that have like known me since high school, know that like, as you can tell from this video, I talk like ain't nobody's business. Like, I'm a social butterfly. I like know everybody and everything and all that stuff, and that's how I've always been, right? But like, I lost that. And so this year I decided I wanted that back, and I started going out with friends. I rekindled a few friendships. You know, I like my best friend, our friendship kind of fizzled out because of an issue, and we both jumped back into each other, and I'm so grateful for that. I had a few friendships, you know, two of my best friends, like we kind of fell out, like not that like we weren't friends, but just it wasn't as intense, and I got that back, and I started going out more. I started talking to people. I started forcing myself to go to parties where I only knew the host, because I was like, no girl, we need to do this. You need to challenge yourself. You need to be open to it. You said you want to be a social butterfly again like you were before. Don't let your anxiety get in the way. Do it. And it was hard. Like, I'd get there and I'd be like, oh, I don't know anyone. But I did it, and it was great. And I'm really proud of myself for that, because like, you know, I may have like so intense resting bitch face, which you may have not seen in this video because I'm just like really vivid, but like, you know, from my posts, you guys probably see like I have really intense resting bitch face. I'm not a bitch, I think. Unless it's like, yeah, that's my bitch, you know, like from one of my girlfriends. But if you see me out, say hi. Like, I'm really nice. Like, yeah. So like, I'm a social butterfly again. I'm really happy about that, because I was so socially anxious and like awkward, and I was like, I don't know what to talk to people about. Like, what if they don't like me? And now I'm like, I don't care. If you like me, cool. If you don't like me, there's the fucking door. Like, you don't have to be here, right? Next thing was, actually I'll get into this last, was coming out as bi, like, and accepting that. This year, as the year started, as I dealt with all of those things, the little bisexual in me was like, hey, we're still here. Remember 2017, we realized that we're bi? We thought it was just an identity crisis. Yeah, girl, it's not. It's not. It's really important to you. This whole part of your life is missing, and you need to be loud and proud about it. And it turned into, what does that mean for me? What does that mean? Like I said, this year was not a walk in the park. I may have talked about a lot of things that I was able to do that was great, but this part was hard. Because like I said earlier, I was married. I filed for divorce this year. And that was difficult, obviously. I'm good now, by the way. I'm hella good. I'm the kind of person that like, I end a relationship when I'm already done, right? And I'm not going to talk about him or any of that kind of stuff out of respect. But I'm going to talk about my experience as bisexual and kind of what all of that meant. And I'm going to talk about it really briefly. But I realized that it meant way more to me than just that. And unfortunately, due to other things that I won't talk about and this, that relationship died. And I had to end it. And I'm really sorry about that. But loving myself and putting myself first was more important to me than anything else. And that was probably the most difficult decision I had to make this year. And so I came out as bi. I came out to my dad this year. That was difficult. I came out to the rest of my family, to my cousins, and they were like, my guy cousins are hilarious. They are trying to set me up with girls like ain't nobody's business. My cousin's like, we're gonna go to a bar and you're gonna meet a girl and I'm gonna meet a girl and like all this shit. Like, they crack me up. They're like, you know, I came out to them at a cousin's night, game night, and they were like, we still love you. Like, you're you. Like, it doesn't change who you are. And I was like, what? Like, this is great. Like, thank you. Like, I was just so scared that people were going to be like, you're so selfish, you know? And some people did say that. They're like, you're so selfish. Like, you have this person and you like, why aren't you content? It has nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with me and who I am and who I was and who I need to be and what I need to happen in my life. So coming out has been very fucking liberating. It's been wonderful, and I'm like really happy. I'm really fucking happy, and I like have made so many friends and have had people mentor me and talk to me and help me with all of my questions, and it's been really fucking great. And it's still a journey, and it's wonderful, and I'm in no rush for anything, and it's just great. I'm living in the moment for the very first time in my life. My mom always says, growing up, Daniela, you were like, when you were a kid, you were like, I can't wait to be 15, because Latinos have quinceañeras. And when you were 15, you're like, I can't wait to be 18, because like you graduate from high school. And when I was 18, I was like, I can't wait to be 21, because like it's just like the next year or whatever, because I didn't care about drinking at the time. Shots later, no. But I was always living in the future, always. And this has been the first year that I'm like in the moment. I am like taking it day by day. I'm not in a rush for anything. I'm fucking happy. It's been really, really good. And it has been a difficult year. I made all of those decisions to put myself first and to be happy. And unfortunately, that meant that I needed to end my marriage. And that has been very difficult. And I have not talked about that at all. And I'm not about to talk about all the things that happened, because that's not what's happening here, guys. But what I will say is I haven't talked about it because everyone treats it and looks at me like I failed, right? Like I got divorced and like I failed. And I don't see it that way. I had a few women come up to me that I'm like, they'll be like, oh, we're so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, we're divorcing. And then she was like, oh, congratulations. And I was like, what? Yeah. Thank you. Getting a divorce has been the most successful thing I've done. It's been, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's been a huge achievement because, you know, again, taking them out of the equation, this is about me, okay? This was the decision to put myself first. Like I said, no matter what, I need to put myself first. And unfortunately, I realized that with this relationship and that it wasn't going to work anymore. And that was very difficult to do. And I did that, and I'm happy, and I'm good. I'm so good, by the way. If you're like, oh, is she healing through that still? Like, what's going on with that? Honey, we been did that in private. Like, I'm good. I'm hella good. But it's been a really great thing for me. Yeah, I'm independent, and I need to be independent, and I need to be alone, and I need to keep healing alone. And it wasn't until this year that I truly understood and believed that you can't love someone until you love yourself. You really need to love yourself before you can really give yourself to someone, because when you bring all of that stuff in, you know, not to say that someone won't deal, yeah, but like it's a lot. And I'm really happy with the decisions I made this year. And like I said, it wasn't a walk in the park, because obviously that affected a huge chunk of my life. You know, because of that, you know, many of you guys know that that me and my ex had the companies together, you know, and so we had to split them up, and I basically had to start from zero again. And it's been really fucking difficult. And I have to really thank my dance company, La Tormenta, my captains, all of the people on my bachata community who's been like really supporting me and like on the down low, just like messaging me and like, you know, thank you so fucking much, because this has been really difficult to start that all over again. I was so worried, and I am still scared and nervous, but I'm so motivated, and I'm so ready for 2020. You know, I'm fucking ready, and I'm gonna set some goals, and I'm gonna make it another happy year. And if I can do it after everything I've been through, you can do it too. And it may take you a minute, and it may be a journey, and you may have a different journey, and your circumstances are different, because everyone's life is unique and different to each other. But I believe in you, because I didn't believe in myself, and then somehow I did. And I still struggle, you know, I still have my moments. I'm not going to say that I don't get depressed sometimes. I'm not going to say that there hasn't been moments where I've felt a little suicidal. There has. But I work through them now, and I can get through them. And I know that I'm not alone. in this journey. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to know that everything's going to be okay. And if you have a plan for life, awesome. But just be aware, if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, doesn't mean you fucked up. Life has its own plans. Life is going to take its own course. Life's going to keep throwing you curveballs. But you are being built up to be a warrior. You are not going to go through anything that you can't get through. I try not to bring religion into it, but if you believe in God, if you don't, cool, whatever. I believe in God. I'm not really organized religion anymore, but I believe in God, and I believe that God will never put me through anything that I can't go through. So I jokingly say with my friends, like, damn, God's put me through hell and back, yo. Like, I don't know what kind of warrior he's building in me, but it's time for me to start paying it forward. I need to find ways to help other people that have been through the things that I've been through. And that's what I'm going to do in 2020. That's one of the things. So I am happy with 2019. I'm happy in general. I'm ready for 2020. I'm ready for this new decade, this new energy, and to just keep fucking living life and meeting people and loving and all of that good stuff. So I hope that if you're sucked, I hope that 2020 is the year of you. And I hope that you put yourself first. And I hope you do those things that you want to do eventually. Yeah. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Everybody has their own journey. And we're going to get through this. And if you need someone to talk to, my DMs are always open. Always, 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 always. I'm happy to keep anything private. Happy to talk to anyone about anything. Yeah, I'm not a professional, okay? So you're not going to get therapy from me. But I can listen, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry this was so long. I told you grab a snack. I am so nervous because I'm about to realistically post this, but thank you so much, so much for supporting me through this year, because I got so much love this year. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.